Hammer Cole had ridden beside T-Viper Kane for 12 years. They'd earned their Thunder Legion patches together, bled together, buried brothers together, so when Derek noticed Viper sneaking out of the clubhouse at 2 in the morning, he told himself it was nothing, probably a woman, maybe gambling debts. Everyone had secrets, but then it happened again. And again, 3 nights in 1 week, Viper disappeared without explanation. No text to the group chat. No heads up to the road captain, which was strange, because Viper was the road captain. Derek sat on his Harley in the clubhouse parking lot, watching Viper's bike disappear down Highway 40. The rational part of his brain said to let it go. Brothers deserved privacy. The other part, the part that had kept him alive, through bar fights and highway accidents, said something was wrong. Derek started his engine and followed. He kept his distance. No headlight, using the moon and muscle memory to navigate roads he'd ridden 1,000 times. Viper headed east, away from Albuquerque, into the desert, 20 miles out. Viper turned onto a dirt road leading to an abandoned rest stop, the kind the state had closed 15 years ago when they built the new interstate. Derek killed his engine half a mile back and walked the rest of the way, boots crunching on gravel. 2 vehicles were parked behind the rest stop. Viper's bike and a black Mercedes SUV with tinted windows. Derek crouched behind a concrete barrier. Close enough to hear voices, Viper stood near the Mercedes, talking to a man in an expensive suit. Even in the darkness, Derek could see the tension in Viper's posture. "I told you, I need more time," Viper said. "Time is a luxury you don't have." The suited man's voice was cold. "My clients are waiting." "You promised 4 by the end of the month?" "For what?" "I'm working on it," Viper said. "But the club's been watching trafficking cases. If I move too fast..." Derek's blood went cold. "Then be smarter," the suited man interrupted. "You've been useful because you have access. Don't make me find someone else. You won't find anyone else with my reach. Thunder Legion runs protection on half the truck stops in New Mexico. I see everything that moves through." The suited man opened the Mercedes door. "Then deliver. For children by Friday, or our arrangement ends." "And Vincent, when arrangements end with me, they end permanently." The Mercedes drove away, red taillights disappearing into the desert. Viper stood alone, hands shaking as he lit a cigarette. Derek couldn't breathe, couldn't move. His mind refused to process what he'd just heard. Vincent Viper Kane, his best friend, the man who'd pulled him from a burning motorcycle 5 years ago, the brother who'd stood beside him at his father's funeral, was trafficking children. Derek waited until Viper rode away, then sat in the dirt for an hour, trying to make sense of it. Maybe he'd misunderstood. Maybe it was a sting operation. Viper was running solo. Maybe no. He'd heard what he'd heard. Derek pulled out his phone. His thumb hovered over President Reaper's contact. But if he called this in without proof, it would tear the club apart. Viper had brothers who'd vouch for him. Derek would be the one accused of lying, of trying to damage a road captain's reputation. He needed evidence. For the next 3 days, Derek followed Viper. He called in sick to his job at the auto shop, told the club he had family stuff to handle. And he watched. Viper's patterns became clear. Every morning he'd visit the same 3 truck stops along I-40. He'd talk to drivers, check in with lot attendants, scan vehicles. Derek had always thought Viper was being thorough, keeping Thunder Legion's protection contracts solid. Now he saw it differently. Viper was hunting. On the 4th night, Derek watched Viper meet the Mercedes again. This time, the suited man wasn't alone. A van pulled up. Side door opened. Derek's stomach dropped. 4 children stumbled out, duct tape over their mouths, zip ties on their wrists. 2 girls, 2 boys, all under 10 years old. Viper inspected them like livestock, checked their arms for track marks, looked at their teeth. "These will work," Viper said. The suited man handed him an envelope. 20,000. As agreed, Viper pocketed it without counting. Derek pulled out his phone and started recording. His hands shook so badly, he almost dropped it. The children were loaded into the Mercedes. The van drove away. Viper mounted his bike. Derek had his evidence, but now he had a choice that would haunt him forever. Destroy his best friend, or let children die. He chose the children. If you believe brotherhood means holding each other accountable, hit that like button. Real loyalty demands real courage. Derek rode straight to President Reaper's house. It was 4 a.m. when he pounded on the door. Reaper answered with a shotgun. Hammer? What the hell? We need to talk now, and you need to see something. They sat in Reaper's garage, the phone video playing on loop. Reaper watched it 3 times without speaking. Finally, you're sure that's Viper? It's him. You're sure this isn't some kind of setup? Someone deep faking? I was there, Reaper. I followed him for 4 days. I heard him talking about using Thunder Legion's protection routes to scout victims. Reaper was 71 years old. He'd founded Thunder Legion in 1978. He'd buried 3 wives and more brothers than he could count. Derek had never seen him cry until now. That's Vincent Kane, Reaper whispered. I gave him his patch. I trusted him with Road Captain. I know. He's been using us. Using OUR Club. Our reputation. We protect people. And he's been. Reaper couldn't finish. What do we do? Reaper's grief hardened into something cold. We handle it. But we do it right. If we go to the police, they'll investigate the whole club. Feds will crawl up our ass. Every protection contract we have, every brother with a record, they'll tear us apart, so we let him walk. I didn't say that. Reaper pulled out his phone. I'm calling a church meeting. All patched members tonight. Mandatory. Viper. We'll know something's up. Let him know. The church meeting. Started at 9 p.m. Thunder Legion's clubhouse. Chapel was a small room with a heavy oak table and 12 chairs. Only patched members allowed. No phones. No recordings. 14 brothers sat around the table. Viper was directly across from Derek. He looked relaxed, confident. Reaper stood. Brothers, we have a serious matter. Evidence has come forward regarding one of our own. Viper's expression didn't change. Reaper nodded to Derek. Show them. Derek connected his phone to the TV mounted on the wall. The video played. The room went silent. Steele leaned forward, squinting. That's Viper. Bullshit, Axe said. That could be anyone. It's me. Viper's voice was calm. Everyone turned. Viper smiled. Yeah, it's me. And before you all get your panties in a twist, let me explain something. I've made this club more money in the last 3 years than any of you combined. By selling children? Derek's voice was raw. By being smart. You think our protection contracts pay the bills? You think the small-time shit we do keeps this clubhouse running? Viper gestured around. I've brought in $300,000. That's new bikes for prospects. That's legal fees. When Ghost got arrested, that's Tommy's kid's surgery. Tommy Axe Sullivan stood up. Don't you dare use my daughter to justify. I'm not justifying anything. I'm stating facts. You all wanted this club to survive. I made sure it did. Reaper's voice was deadly quiet. By trafficking children? By making hard choices that none of you had the stomach for? Steele lunged across the table. 3 brothers had to hold him back. Viper didn't flinch. See, this is the problem. You all want to play hero. Protect the weak. Stand for justice. But you don't want to know what it costs to keep this club alive in 2024. The world changed. You dinosaurs didn't. Who are you? Derek's question stopped everyone. Viper looked at him. I'm the same person I've always been. You're just seeing clearly for the first time. No. The Viper I knew pulled me from a burning bike. The Viper I knew cried when we buried Lucky. That man grew up. Maybe you should too. Reaper slammed his hand on the table. Vincent Kane, you are hereby stripped of your patch. You are no longer Thunder Legion. You are no longer our brother. Viper laughed. You think I care about your patch? I've got $50,000 in cash and a contact list worth millions. You're kicking me out of a club that's dying anyway. Where are the children? Derek demanded. Gone, delivered. And before you get any hero ideas, they're 3 states away by now. Good luck finding them. We'll find them, Reaper said. And when we do, we're handing you to the police.
Viper stood.
Go ahead. But here's the thing, I've kept records. Every protection payment Thunder Legion collected, every transaction that skirted the law, every brother with a warrant. You turn me in, I turn in the whole club. The room erupted. Brothers shouting. Chairs scraping. Enough. Reaper's voice cut through the chaos. Viper, get out. You have 60 seconds before I forget I'm a man of principle. Viper walked to the door, then turned. Derek, you want to know the funniest part? You're the reason I got into this? Derek froze. What? 3 years ago, you saved that kid at the truck stop. Remember, the one being moved by her stepdad? You were so proud. So righteous. And I watched you get nothing for it. No reward, no recognition. Just more scars and an empty bank account.
Yeah.
That's what being a decent human costs sometimes. Exactly. And I decided I was tired of paying that cost. So yeah, blame yourself if it helps you sleep. Viper left. The clubhouse went silent. Comment accountability if you believe real brotherhood means stopping evil. Even when it's your brother doing it, Steele spoke first. We have to find those kids, Greed Reaper said. But we need help. Hammer, you still have that detective contact. Rachel Harper. Yeah, call her. Tell her everything. And before anyone objects, I don't care if it burns this club to the ground. We're not protecting a child trafficker. Derek called Detective Harper from the parking lot. She answered on the first ring. Hammer. It's almost midnight. I have a situation. A member of my club is trafficking children. I have video evidence. 4 kids were handed off 3 days ago. Could hear her sitting up. Send me everything. Now. The video transferred. Harper was silent as she watched. Holy shit. Who is he? Vincent Kane. Goes by Viper. Was our road captain. And you're willing to testify? I'm willing to do whatever it takes to find those kids. Okay? I'm calling FBI. This crosses state lines. I need you to stay exactly where you are. Federal agents arrived within 2 hours. They set up in the Thunder Legion Club, house an irony not lost on anyone. We need everything, Agent Morrison said. His contacts, his roots, his financials. And we need it fast. Those children have maybe 48 hours before they're moved again. The club opened their books. Reaper handed over Viper's records. His phone logs, everything. Agent Morrison studied the data. He's been using your protection contracts as a scouting network. Every truck stop you monitor, he's been watching for vulnerable targets. That son of a bitch, Steele muttered. There's more. Your guy isn't small time. We've been tracking a trafficking network called the Pipeline for 2 years. Based on this evidence, Vincent Kane is their primary recruiter in New Mexico. Derek felt sick. How many? We estimate he's moved 43 children in 3 years. The number hit like a hammer. 43. But the 4 from the video are trackable, Morrison continued. The Mercedes is registered to Leonard Cross. We've suspected him for months, but couldn't get evidence. This video is exactly what we need. Where is he? Phoenix. And before you ask, no, you cannot go there. This is a federal operation now, Reaper stood. With respect to Agent Morrison, we built this club on protecting people. Vincent Kane destroyed that. We have a right to help fix it. Morrison considered this. You want to help? Here's how. Cross operates out of a warehouse in Phoenix. We're planning a raid tomorrow at dawn. We need someone who can identify Kane on site. Someone he won't expect. I'll do it, Derek said. So will I, Steele added. And me, from Axe. And me, from Ghost. Morrison nodded. Okay, but you follow orders. You wear vests. And you do not engage unless I authorize it. Clear. Clear. They rode through the night for Thunder Legion brothers and a convoy of federal vehicles. By dawn, They were parked 2 blocks from Cross's warehouse in Phoenix. Thermal imaging shows 12 people inside, Morrison said through the radio. For small heat signatures, likely the children. 8 adults. We go in hard and fast. Derek pulled on the tactical vest emblazoned with FBI. It felt wrong. But if it got those kids out, he'd wear a clown suit. The breach was textbook flashbangs, shouted commands. Adults on the ground within seconds. Derek followed the team into the back room. 4 children sat on mattresses on the floor. Duct tape over their mouths. Zip ties on their ankles. Eyes wide with terror. It's okay, Derek said, kneeling. We're here to help. You're safe now. He cut their restraints as gently as possible. A little girl, maybe 8, grabbed his arm. The bad man, she whispered. He's still here? Who? The one with the snake tattoo. Derek's blood ran cold. Viper had a cobra tattooed on his forearm. He keyed his radio. Morrison, Viper might be here. Copy. Searching now. Stayed with the children as medics arrived. But his eyes kept scanning the warehouse. A door creaked in the corner. A storage closet. Derek drew the weapon Morrison had given him and approached slowly. He kicked the door open. Viper stood inside, hands up. Easy, brother. I'm not your brother. Fair. But you're also not going to shoot me. You sure about that? Yeah, because you're too good. That's always been your problem, Derek. You're too good to do what needs to be done. Like trafficking kids. Like surviving. You think the world cares about good? You think those kids are going to thank you? They'll be in foster care, bouncing from house to house until they age out and end up right back where they started.
Ouch.
That's not your decision to make.
Ouch.
Someone has to make hard decisions. Someone has to steal appeared in the doorway. Step aside, Hammer. Steal? Don't steal. Raised his weapon. This piece of shit doesn't deserve a trial. Share this video. When evil hides among good people, exposure is the only weapon that works. Stand down. Morrison's voice echoed. Everyone stand down. Agents flooded the room. Viper was cuffed and dragged out. As they passed, Viper looked at Derek. 12 years, brother. 12 years we rode together. And you threw it away for strangers. No, Derek said quietly. You threw it away when you sold your soul. The children were taken to a hospital in Phoenix. All 4 were dehydrated and malnourished, but alive. Sophia, Miguel, Emma, and Carlos. For names Derek would never forget. Agent Morrison debriefed the club at a motel outside Phoenix. Vincent Kane is cooperating, she said. He's giving up the entire network. In exchange for testimony, he'll likely get 25 years instead of life. That's not enough, Steele said. It's what the system allows. But because of his cooperation, we've identified 41 of the 43 children he moved. Recovery operations are underway. Derek closed his eyes. 41. Your club did the right thing, Morrison continued. And I know that cost you. Turning in one of your own. That takes guts. Reaper's voice was tired. It wasn't guts. It was the bare minimum of human decency. The ride back to Albuquerque was silent. 4 brothers who'd left to save children. 4 brothers who'd destroyed their own. When they arrived at the clubhouse, the rest of Thunder Legion was waiting. Reaper called another church meeting. Brothers, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Vincent Kane betrayed everything we stand for. He used our club, our protection, our reputation. And we didn't see it. That's on me, Derek said. I should have noticed sooner. No, Reaper said firmly. That's on all of us. We got comfortable. We trusted without verifying. And children paid the price. Tommy Axe spoke up. So what now? Do we shut down? No, we rebuild. But differently. From now on, Thunder Legion has a new mission. We're not just protecting truck stops and gas stations. We're actively hunting traffickers. We're partnering with law enforcement. And we're making damn sure no one ever uses this club for evil again. Steele nodded. I'm in. Me too, from Axe. Hell yes, from Ghost. Hammer. Reaper looked at Derek. Derek thought about the 4 children in that warehouse, about Sophia's hand gripping his arm, about the 41 being recovered because they'd done the right thing. I'm in. But I have one condition. Name it. We remember Viper, not as a hero, but as a reminder. We put his mugshot on the wall. And every prospect who wants a patch sees it. They learn what happens when you betray the code. Reaper considered this. Agreed. 6 months later, Derek stood in a community center in Phoenix. Sophia, the 8-year-old from the warehouse, was on stage with her foster mother. Agent Morrison had arranged for Derek to attend a fundraiser for trafficking survivors. Sophia saw him and smiled. She ran over and hugged his leg. "You're the motorcycle man," she said. "That's me. Are you still catching bad guys?" "Every day." "Good, because my friend says there's more of them." Derek knelt down. But there's more of us too." Sophia's foster mother approached. "Thank you. For what you did? The FBI said you didn't have to help." "Yeah, I did," Derek said. "Well, because of you, Sophia's getting therapy. She's back in school. She's learning to trust again." Derek's throat tightened. "How are the other kids?" "Miguel's with his grandparents in Texas. Emma and Carlos were reunited with their birth families. All 4 are alive because you refused to stay silent." After the event, Derek walked to his bike. His phone rang. "Hammer, it's Morrison. Got a situation? Suspected trafficking operation near the Arizona border. Usually I'd handle it through channels, but the truck stop manager specifically asked for Thunder Legion. Said he trusts you." Derek smiled. "Send me the coordinates. It's already done." "And Hammer? Your club's built a hell of a reputation in 6 months." "Keep it up," Derek texted the Thunder Legion group chat. "Rally point. Border Patrol. Possible trafficking. Wheels up in 20. Responses came immediately. "Steel. On my way. Axe. Rolling out. Ghost. See you there. Reaper. Hammer. You lead this one. Show them what Thunder Legion stands for." Derek mounted his Harley. The engine roared to life. As he rode toward the border, he thought about Viper, about the betrayal. About the 43 children, some people said Brotherhood meant loyalty at all costs. Derek had learned differently. Real brotherhood meant holding each other accountable. It meant standing up even when it hurt. It meant choosing what's right over who's familiar. Vincent Kane had been his best friend, but those 4 children in Phoenix mattered more, and they always would. Because heroes don't protect everyone. They protect the ones who can't protect themselves, even if it costs them everything. If this story made you think about what real loyalty means, hit like. Comment what shocked you most about this Brotherhood betrayal. Subscribe for more stories of bikers who choose justice over comfort. Share this to remind people that evil sometimes wears familiar faces in. Stopping it requires courage.